I want to start today with a question that most people are too afraid to ask themselves. When did you stop trusting your body? Maybe it wasn't a single moment. Maybe it was a gradual shift. You started using the armrest to push yourself out of the car. You started looking for the elevator instead of the stairs, not because you were lazy, but because your knees felt creaky. You started walking a little slower when the pavement got uneven. If you are over 60, there is an invisible thief living in your house. That thief is called sarcopenia. It sounds like a scary medical term, but it's actually very simple. It's the age-related loss of skeletal muscle mass and strength. And here is the brutal truth that most doctors won't tell you to your face. If you don't fight it, it will take your freedom. But I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to give you the weapon to fight back. In this video, we aren't just doing a quick workout. This is a masterclass. We are going to look at the biology of your legs, why they are the second heart of your body, and the 3 specific movements that, if done daily, can literally stop the clock. I'm going to stay here with you for as long as it takes to make sure you understand the how and the why. Because when you understand why a muscle moves, you move it with intention. And intention is where strength is born. Before we get into the exercises, we need to understand the engine. Why do our legs go first? Why not our arms or our back? Your legs contain the largest muscles in your body, the glutes, the quads, and the hamstrings. These muscles aren't just for walking. They are your body's largest metabolic engine. They manage your blood sugar. They pump blood back up to your heart. They are the foundation of your posture. Think of your body like a house. Your legs are the foundation. You can paint the walls, your skin, and fix the roof, your hair. But if the foundation cracks, the whole house tilts. After age 60, the communication between your brain and your muscles begins to fray. It's like a bad Wi-Fi connection. Your brain sends the signal to stand up, but the muscles don't receive the full message. This is called neuromuscular efficiency. The 3 exercises I'm going to show you today aren't just about getting big muscles. We aren't trying to be bodybuilders. We are trying to rewire the Wi-Fi. We are teaching your brain how to talk to your legs again. We are reinforcing the neural pathways so that when you trip on a rug, your brain sends a lightning bolt signal to your leg to step out and catch you. That split second is the difference between a laugh and a hip fracture. Let's get into our first movement. I want you to find a chair, not a rolling office chair, a solid dining chair or a bench. Most people think a squat is a gym exercise. It's not. A squat is simply the act of sitting down and standing up. It is the most functional movement in human history. I want you to look at your feet. Most people stand with their toes pointed out or too narrow. I want your feet exactly shoulder width apart. Imagine your feet are roots of a tree. I want you to feel 3 points of contact, your big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel. This is your tripod. Now cross your arms. This is where the magic happens. When you use your hands to push off a chair, you are telling your legs, you don't have to work today. You are firing your triceps instead of your quads. As you stand up, I want you to breathe out. Don't hold your breath. Holding your breath spikes your blood pressure. Exhale as you drive upward. Everyone focuses on the standing up, but the real strength is built on the way down. I want you to count to 4 as you lower your seat back to the chair. 4, 3, 2, 1. When you lower yourself slowly, you are performing eccentric loading. This is the fastest way to build muscle density in seniors. If you just plop down, you're letting gravity do the work. Don't let gravity win. You are the boss of your body. Now let's talk about the ankles. When we look at falls in the over 60 population, we often blame the knees, but the crime usually starts at the ankle. As we age, our ankles get stiff. We lose the ability to flex our feet. This leads to what we call shuffling. You know that sound of feet dragging on carpet? That is the sound of weak calves and stiff ankles. Find a wall or a countertop. Put your fingertips on it. just for balance, not to lean on. Lift your heels. Imagine there is a string pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. I want you to get as high as possible on your tippy toes. Your calf muscles are often called the peripheral heart. When they contract, they squeeze the veins in your lower legs and push blood back up toward your chest. If you suffer from swelling in your ankles or poor circulation, this exercise is your best friend. Let's do 15 of these together right now. I'll wait. Pause for 5 seconds. Feel that burn? That's oxygen. That's blood flow. That's life returning to your lower limbs. Our final pillar is the wall march. This is about single leg stability. Think about it. When you walk, there is a moment where all your weight is on just one leg. If that leg is weak, your body wobbles. Your brain senses that wobble and makes you take shorter, more tentative steps. That's how you lose your stride. Stand with your back flat against a wall. This removes the fear of falling backward. Lift your right knee. Try to get it level with your hip. Hold it. Feel how your left leg has to tighten up to keep you there. That is your stabilizer muscles working. Close your eyes for just 1 second while doing this. Feel how your body reacts. Your brain is working overtime to figure out where you are in space. This is called proprioception. By practicing this against a wall, you are training your brain's GPS system. You are making yourself trip-proof. Now, we've talked about the movements, but I have to be honest with you, you cannot build a house without bricks, and you cannot build muscle without the right materials. If you do these exercises but you aren't eating for strength, you are spinning your wheels. In our 20s and 30s, our bodies were in a growth state. You could eat a piece of toast and go for a run, and your body would adapt. But after 60, we enter a state called anabolic resistance. This is a fancy way of saying your body has become stubborn. It doesn't want to build muscle as easily as it used to. To break that resistance, we need to talk about protein. Most of us were raised on the idea that a balanced meal is a bit of meat, a lot of starch, and some veggies. But as a senior, you need to prioritize protein like a pro athlete. Why? Because of an amino acid called leucine. Think of leucine as the ignition key that starts the engine of muscle building. If you don't have enough leucine in your bloodstream, your body won't even realize you've done the exercises we just practiced. You should be aiming for about 25 to 30 grams of protein at every meal. That's a palm-sized piece of chicken, a piece of salmon, or a cup of Greek yogurt. If you start your morning with just a bagel or a bowl of cereal, you are starting your day in a catabolic state, which means your body is actually breaking down your leg muscles for energy. I want you to make a pact with me right now. No more tea and toast breakfasts. We need eggs, we need cottage cheese, we need fuel. You are building a masterpiece. Don't use cheap materials. Let's talk about something that sounds boring but is actually a secret weapon: water. Your muscles are roughly 75% water. When you are even slightly dehydrated, your muscle fibers lose their elasticity. They become like an old, dried-out rubber band. What happens when you stretch a dry rubber band? It snaps. As we age, our thirst mechanism actually weakens. You might not feel thirsty, but your muscles are screaming for fluids. This is why many of you feel stiff in the morning. It's not just age, it's cellular thirst. When you do the wall march or the chair stand while dehydrated, your brain perceives the movement as harder than it actually is. This increases your perceived exertion, making you want to quit sooner. I want you to drink a full glass of water before you start these daily exercises. Think of it as oiling the joints of a vintage car before you take it for a drive. You wouldn't drive a 1965 Mustang without oil, would you? Treat your legs with the same respect. I want you to close your eyes for a second and imagine your perfect day 5 years from now. Are you walking through a crowded airport to visit your family? Are you out in the garden, kneeling down to plant roses, and, this is the important part, standing back up without needing to grab the fence? These 3 exercises aren't just movements, they are activities of daily living. The chair stand is how you get off a low toilet seat in a public restroom without a handrail. The calf raise is how you reach the top shelf of the pantry to get the flour for your famous cookies. The wall march is how you navigate a curb or a cracked sidewalk without stumbling. I hear from seniors every day who say, "I stopped going to the museum because I was afraid of the stairs." Or, "I stopped playing with my grandkids on the floor because I didn't think I could get back up." That breaks my heart, because your world gets smaller as your legs get weaker. But as we rebuild this strength, your world starts to expand again. You start saying yes to invitations. You start taking the long way home. You regain the spatial confidence that you had in your 40s. That is what we are fighting for, not just leg strength, but the ability to say yes to life. We need to address the elephant in the room, the old age trap. Society spent the last 50 years telling you that 65 is the finish line. They tell you to take it easy and be careful. While they mean well, that advice is actually dangerous. Taking it easy is how muscles atrophy. There is a psychological phenomenon where, once we hit a certain age, we start to identify with our aches and pains. We say, "My bad knee is acting up," or "I'm just an old man now." I want you to stop that talk right now. Your body is a biological marvel that is capable of adaptation until the very last breath you take. You are not a patient. You are a trainee. When you feel that burn in your quads during the chair stand, I don't want you to think, "Ow, I'm old." I want you to think, "That is my body waking up. That is my strength returning." Change your vocabulary. Instead of saying, "I can't do that anymore," say, "I'm currently training so I can do that again." The brain follows the tongue. If you tell yourself you are strong, your nervous system will work harder to make it true. I've helped thousands of people your age, and I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Let's go through the buts. But what if I have bone-on-bone arthritis in my knees? Motion is lotion. While you should always follow your doctor's specific advice, inactivity is the enemy of arthritis. When you strengthen the muscles around the knee, the quads and hamstrings, those muscles take the pressure off the joint. You're building a biological knee brace. But I haven't exercised in 20 years. Perfect. That means you have the most to gain. You will see newbie gains just like a teenager. Your body will respond incredibly fast because the stimulus is new. Start with just 3 repetitions of each. That's it. Just 3. Tomorrow, do 4. But I have high blood pressure. That is exactly why you need to move. Resistance training, when done with proper breathing, remember, exhale on the effort, is one of the best ways to improve vascular health. But I'm afraid of falling while I'm doing the exercises. That is why we use the wall. That is why we use the counter. Safety isn't just a suggestion, it's the foundation of this program. We start where you are, not where you wish you were. We have covered a lot today: nutrition, hydration, biology, and the big 3 moves. If you are still watching this, you have the most important ingredient for success: persistence. You didn't click away when it got hard. You didn't stop when I told you to eat more protein. You are ready. Go to your kitchen right now. Do 5 calf raises while the microwave is running. Stand up from your chair 5 times before you sit down to watch your next video. This is your life. Own it. I'm Kelly Robbins, and I believe in your strength. If this video helped you, hit like and subscribe for more critical health updates. I'll see you in 14 days for your progress report.